Live. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all the students of the Department of Information Technology, Dr.M.G.R. Educational and Research Institute, who have joined today for the Student Induction Program, cum Motivational Talk. Make your life a masterpiece. Imagine no limitations on what you can be, have, or do. The way you think and feel about yourself, including your beliefs and expectations about what is possible for you, determines everything that happens to you. When you change the quality of your thinking, you change the quality of your life, sometimes almost immediately. The way you think of yourself is important to change your behavior, develop competencies, to be creative, set goals, grow new interests, make plans, and develop talents. Today, we have a special motivational talk as part of the Student Induction Program as per UGC mandate. To start today's session, may I request our energetic head of the department, Dr.N.Kanya, to give the welcome address.
Thank you, Dahlia ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Believe in yourself, and the world will be university. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the university and on behalf of the department to the student induction program of our department. We would like to express our profound gratitude to our founder chancellor, Dr. A.C. Shanmugam sir, and our president, engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar sir, for giving us an opportunity to organize these kind of events and also for inspiring us to host it successfully. I'm happy to welcome you. I am happy to welcome our Vice Chancellor, ma'am, Dr. Geeta Lakshmi, ma'am, who always be inspiration to us. We welcome you, ma'am. And I'm also welcome our vibrant speaker of the day, Professor Anil Titus Jacob, Head Computer Support Systems, IBS Software. We are hosting this event through our YouTube channel. Kindly take active participation in the session and give us your value feedback, which will help us to grow further. I'd like to congratulate and appreciate the event coordinator, Dr. Dahlia Sam, who have made this event a grand success. I take this opportunity to thank all the faculty member of my department who always be the pillar of support for me to organize these kind of events. Once again, I welcome you all. Stay tuned to learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your constant guidance and support. Now I request our respected, vibrant Vice Chancellor, Madam Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi, to give the felicitation address.
Who are being, doing a good job in your department on research and new innovations, and also inducting students today on behalf of the management and our chairman of Dr.M.G.R. Deemed University, Mr. A.C. Shanmugam, and our president, ACS Arun Kumar. They have been so kind enough to give a lot of opportunities to many of the departments to conduct such kind of programs which would make live both the faculty as well as the students. And of course, the Dr. M.G.R. Deemed University, our chairman, is a educationist and a philanthropist who has been helping students to get education from also to the poor and downtrodden. With this, I also like today welcome all the new students for this program. Of course, I welcome our speaker, Mr. Anil, for this program, giving a motivational talk to the students. Of course, students have to know themselves first. So the discipline is very important, and also vision is important in their life. So when you have a vision in your life, definitely you will have the goal to uh, reach it subconsciously. So you have to have a vision what you have to come right from your childhood, and that you know about yourself. So this, and also your experience in of the outside world, would also mold you into a person. But always think that your habits and discipline will make you to travel your path of your vision like there is a Tamil song in in MGR வேப்பமர உச்சியிலே பேய் ஒன்று ஆடுதுன்னு, அதாவது அதெல்லாம் நம்ப வைப்பாங்க, அதெல்லாம் முடியாது, like they will say that this is not possible, this is so it is, this is what we have. But of course, when you have seen hello, hello,
Yes, ma'am. We are able to hear you, ma'am.
hello,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We
hello.
are able to hear you, ma'am.
Yeah. So there was a phone in
Yes,
between
ma'am.
because I'm using my mobile. The phone come. So I would like the students should have a vision and also the aim and the goal. So whatever comes, troubleshooting or whatever hardships or hurdles, or somebody giving you advice not to do, you
Okay.
have to have your own plans to do your, to go through your life and reach the goal what you have had vision during your younger days. So thank you. Have a vision and a goal. Definitely you will reach it. This is what I say for all the students, and you have subconsciously you will work for it. Thank you, one and all.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being a constant source of inspiration and always motivating us to go ahead in everything. Uh, we live in a constantly changing world, especially in the last few months. We've been facing so many unpredictable situations due to this pandemic. As we constantly respond to changes in our environment, we need motivation to take correct decisions in the face of fluctuating circumstances. There's a saying which says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. We have a perfect leader with us today, my own professor, Professor Anil Titus Jacob, who's here to give us some practical tips and inspire us. As a student back in 2002, I was personally benefited by Sir. In addition to being an intelligent professor, his practical counseling has inspired us all. So now may I request Mrs. Shobana to introduce our chief guest.
மேம் என்ன பேக் ஸ்டேஜா போட்டிருக்கீங்க, என்னை உள்ளக்க திரும்புங்க. இருக்கேன், ஆனா பேக் ஸ்டேஜா தான் இருக்கேன்.
Shobana ma'am, we can hear you. Hmm?
Ma'am, my voice is audible. Hello ma'am, Dahlia ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Hello. Okay. Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, shall I start? Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Hello. Okay, okay, okay. Good morning, all. This is Shobna, IT department from Dr.M.G.R Educational Research Institute. There is a quote, never stop learning, never stop growing. It's my great honor to introduce today resource person, Professor Mr. ANIL Titus Jacob. Mr. ANIL Titus Jacob is from Kerala. He completed his MTech in computer science from IIT Bombay. He scored first rank and BTech in electronics from College of Engineering Trivandrum. This is the education background. After that, he started his career 80 years of software developer for multinational companies in USA, UK, Hong Kong, and New Zealand. Continue this, he worked as a professor and head of computer science in Karunya University, Coimbatore. Currently working as a head of customer support center of IBS in Technopark, and his role to support 400 customer accounts worldwide. Today, we are privileged to listen his motivation talk from him for our engineering students to get a bright future. I welcome you, sir, and I request you to take over the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shobna ma'am. Before we get into the session, I would like to give a few instructions for our students. The feedback link will be shared towards the end of the session. It will be provided in the YouTube chat box. Be active right from the beginning till the end, and your attendance will be counted. Only then you will receive the certificates. Okay, just mere registration is not enough. You need to fill the attendance form, and you can post your questions or queries in the chat box. It will be answered towards the end in the Q&A session. Please avoid unnecessary discussion. Stay focused. Thank you so much. Over to Anil Titus, sir.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure for me to be part of this program, and thank you for welcoming me to the university. I really like mingling with young people because suddenly I also feel young like you. It energizes us and takes us back to the days when I was also a student in the university like you. So today I will share my slides. Let me put up the PowerPoint. The topic I am speaking is about only you can change you. Who can change you? Only you can. Teachers, parents, and anybody else in the society can only advise you. But the real change will come only when you decide that you want to grow, that you want to change. Let's look at this picture here. You can see a young boy, maybe 3 years old. To him, you offer a chocolate lolly, Cadbury chocolate, eclairs or something you offer him, and also offer him a 2000 rupee Indian rupee note. Which one would he take if you ask him to take one? A 3-year-old child will grab the chocolate immediately and start eating. He will ignore the 2000 rupees note because he doesn't know that the 2000 rupees note can buy him hundreds of this chocolate. Because he does not know that, he will immediately go for what he knows, which is a chocolate. But to somebody like you on the right hand side, a young person studying in some university, he will be intelligent enough to ignore the chocolate and he will grab the 2000 rupee note from my hand because he knows the value of that piece of paper. So when you want to make a change in your life and become like a college student, sometime later become like an IT manager on the right hand side, it is a constant growth. Growth comes only when you deliberately make those changes in your lives and learn new things. The child does not know many things. So in his brain, it's all red, all are problems, issues, but his knowledge is inadequate. This college student learns something more, doesn't he? And on the right hand side, when you become a manager after your graduation, you're working for an IT company for a few years. You can see that maybe he has only one red mark here, and most of it is new knowledge. So you have to deliberately make this change and the shift from becoming a toddler to a young man to become a middle-aged manager. That is a journey that you are traveling now. So let me speak about the ingredients for a successful IT career. I want to speak about three aspects and then give some advice about how to study effectively. To be successful in IT career, you need to have three ingredients or three areas you need to grow. One, technical skills. Two, soft skills. Number three, have good health. Let's look at them ABC one by one. Technical skills. The most important thing is to know the concepts, to understand why and not just what. Many times students are happy to just memorize things. That means they are mastering the what without knowing the reason. So if you look at an ordinary electric fan, when you increase the resistance, there is a speed control available, and you turn it left or right to adjust the speed. So when you increase the resistance, the speed is reducing. But my question is, does the electricity bill come down as you increase the resistance? So if there is a formula that we have learned in physics, power equal to I square R. So when you increase the resistance, will the power increase or the power decrease? Looking at this formula, it's not very clear. Well, if you work on it a bit more, you can derive, but straight away looking at it, it's not clear. So the second formula, another formula to calculate power is E, the voltage multiplied by the current. There is no R visible in this formula. So it's also not straightforward. So if you want to know what happens when you increase the resistance, does my electricity bill come down or not? You should use a third formula, which is nothing but E square by R. And you note that E is the voltage of the room, which stays constant. R is in the denominator. So when you increase R, therefore now you know the power will come down when you increase the resistance. So therefore you need to know which formula to use in order to get the correct answer. So that is what is called you understanding the concepts and understanding the why, rather than simply memorizing first the formula and then you say that I don't know what happens. The next slide. Understand the concepts instead of memorizing. That's what we're talking about. Sometimes I interview freshly passed out students who come out of university. They come to Technopark or other companies for recruitment. And we ask them simple questions like sometimes, what is the height of the door in this room? Some people will say 30 feet. Some people will say 3 feet. Both are wrong, right? Both people don't have a concept. Some people, they may have 90% marks in the final exam. But if that person says the height of the door in the room is 30 feet, then he may have a BTech degree, but he's not an engineer. If asked the question, what is the weight of a laptop? Somebody might say 10 kilograms. Somebody might say 50 grams. Both are obviously wrong answers. Voltage in this room. Somebody might say 24 volts. That's what you find in many vehicles. Or somebody might say 1000 volts. Obviously, it is wrong as well. So we need to not only earn a degree in engineering, but also really be an engineer who knows practical concepts. Some candidate came for the interview and we put this up on the board and asked the question, what is the equation for the red line here? And that person will look at it for a while and then smile and tell us saying that this was not in the engineering syllabus, so I don't know. So this person has to go back to the college and ask the teacher or the instructor who taught him this mathematics, and he has to come back to interview tomorrow. Looks like that way. But this is equal to really x equal to y. And then we ask the question, okay, that was x equal to y. What is x equal to minus y? Can you imagine what is x equal to minus? If this is x equal to y, what is x equal to minus y? Well, again, student might try. We say, okay, go to the whiteboard and try. You can plot it. And they do not know that this is equal to x equal to y, x equal to minus y, right? So many times we have marks. We are able to say some answers from somewhere, but do not understand the concept, the impact of the knowledge. So when it comes to programming, you are all IT people. So let me speak something about programming. I would recommend that you focus on getting depth. Breadth will come later. You don't have to study so wide and far, but what subjects you learn, you must know well. So if you are coming and I'm doing your interview, or my team is doing the interview, we would recommend that you just study one programming language thoroughly well. And if you ask you questions in the Visual Basic, you can say, sorry, sir, we didn't study Visual Basic, but I know Java, I know Python, I know C#, something like that you can tell. Then we can change our questioning from Visual Basic to a language that you know. You have every right to say that. But when we ask you questions about C++, because you said you like that subject better, you studied, you better know, you better must know C++ thoroughly well. So study one language very well, and it is good to have a surface knowledge, some general knowledge regarding other programming languages too, but at least one of them you must know every command. Deep down, to drill down, you must know. Write 7-line programs, in the sense that if you have to learn about do while or for loop or case statement, write your own case statement with 7 state programming lines in it, with your own example. Then you will always understand because you wrote it. So even though textbook may give many things, it is good to write many 7-line or 10-line short programs that illustrate the print commandment, the read commandment, the search commandment, the find commandment, whatever is there, it's better to read that way. Look at this. I have talking about a loop, and in a loop, you want to access different elements of an array. So you can try different ways. In the laboratory, madam may have shown you one way, and you are able to complete the experiment and run to the hostel and then to the football ground or something. But try to understand, are there other ways of doing this? For example, if marks is an array, the name of the array itself is a pointer. Or you can say the name of the array, marks, square bracket I. So that is an index. I is working as an index. And by incrementing I, you are able to access the first, the second, third, and fourth element of the array like that. So that is using indexing with a square bracket. You can use pointers. So if marks is the name of the array, that itself is a pointer that points to the beginning of the array. So you can say mark plus I, and I is the pointer variable that you can increment. It keeps on incrementing with value 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So by putting star there, it refers to the content of the memory pointed by this pointer. So you can now say star marks plus I equal to 100. Value of 100 will go and sit in the place of the array, very similar to the first statement. The next one, you can also declare a variable, pointer variable called PTR. To that, you can assign the address of the array, the start element of the first item of the array, by using the ampersand statement. So PTR becomes a pointer that points to the start of the array. And inside the loop, you say PTR equal to PTR plus I, and I is 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So you keep on, if you want to increase the old value plus some new value. Actually, I equal to, you can have 1. And you keep on incrementing the next one. And then you can say star pointer equal to 100. So wherever PTR is pointing to, go to this memory location, in that place put 100. So 3 different ways of achieving the same thing, and you become a master when you try 3 different ways or 4 different ways, 5 different ways. So when you go for an interview, if somebody twists the question and gives in a different way, you would have seen it before, or at least you will be open enough to try the new way. So that is why you should try to become expert rather than just be happy completing the exercise, maybe copied from your friend's journal or lab record and then run to the hostel. It is better that you try to master it. When you're looking at sorting and searching algorithms, for example, sorting, bubble sort, and you need to compare that with, oh, how different is this bubble sort with quick sort? I don't mean simply memorize the lines of program, 10 lines of program you memorize and you get a loop. But really to understand why is bubble sort different to quick sort? Where is the difference? Which lines can I change to become a heap sort? Where does it become a bucket sort? What is what best for? In which scenario is it worst case? Which is the best case of data? Things like that you really ask yourself. So I was speaking about technical skills. Now let me speak about soft skills. What is soft skills? As the picture shows you on the screen, soft skills is the skills that you need to interact with others, whether it is customers, whether it is your classmates, whether it is your faculty, so your neighbors at home. That is what is a soft skill is about. When interviews happen, recruiters look for 70% for the right attitude and only 30% for the skill. You know why? Because a skill, if you don't have, we can teach you, put you for training for 6 months, and the 7th month onwards, you will be able to reasonably write Java, even if never in your life you had Java programming done. So we know, even if you have not done Oracle programming in your university, when you join an IT company, we can give you training for 4 months and make you become reasonably competent in Oracle programming. But attitude, your fundamental, character, your attitude to life is very difficult to change. For example, some people are very cheerful, energetic, cooperative, reliable, punctual, honest, whereas some others may have a very good, appearance. Somebody may be very tall, good hairstyle, and may even have good marks. But when it comes to these soft skills of interacting with others, they'll be very poor. So we need to cultivate good soft skills in order that we are able to relate to others. When we speak about soft skills, let me speak about a few practical aspects of soft skills. I'm not talking about C++, Java, your percentage marks, CGPI or something. I'm speaking about your personality, your soft skills. Let's look at the study table of one of you. I don't know who it is on the left-hand side. It is in a mess. Where will you find there your old +2 mark list? Somewhere there it is there, but you don't know where it is. But a student on the right-hand side table, he or she also has the same amount of paperwork, but she has all bound them into folders, in spiral folders or something, binders, and put on the shelf. And on the desk there is some white space. She or he can sit and write something. So are you a person on the right side? Or are you a person that I see on the left side? Well, doesn't matter. It's not too late. If you are like the person on the left-hand side, it is still not late to slowly start changing so that your table will look like what is on the right-hand side. And then you are on the way to victory. Punctuality. You may be wearing a tie. You may be wearing a nice jacket and costly shoes. And you're carrying a leather bag imported from Switzerland or Italy. But you're always late, always running from meeting to meeting. But the man on the right-hand side, maybe he's come for an interview, maybe one among you, and he has come early, and he is reported there standing ready for somebody to greet him. And he has got his mark sheet. He has got other things ready with him, maybe in the shoulder bag, and he's already kind of waiting in the front of the queue for the next person to get him. I hope you are the person on the right-hand side. One of my projects was in New Zealand. New Zealand is a country in the southern hemisphere. Capital of New Zealand is Wellington. It's the southernmost capital. in the whole world. So it's a cold country, mostly occupied by British and Dutch people. And I was fortunate to go there in 1986 as part of my IT job. So on Sunday, I had nothing to do. Very first day when I land up there, Saturday, and next day is a Sunday, I decided I want to visit a church and see what it is like life in New Zealand, being an English country. So I knew that the church starts at 9 o'clock, and I wanted to reach there before 9 o'clock. But because of my habits, I woke up late, and I had to, skip my breakfast and rush and comb my hair and put on my shoes and everything. And I ran just like the previous manager here. Ran towards the church. When I reached the church, everybody was already seated. They all come and sit for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the program starts. There is a pin drop silence in the church, and the organist is playing. And I came through the front door and pushed that front door open and, came inside maybe a couple of minutes late, but the organ was still playing and the choir was about to sing and things like that, So when I pushed the front door open and barged inside the church, unfortunately, the hinges of the front door have not been oiled for some time. So when I pushed the door open, the door made a squeaky noise and the door opened. And you could see there were 300 people seated in the church. And 300 heads turned back. Because this is first time in the history of the church that somebody comes in the church rushing like this after 9 o'clock when the service is supposed to start. Everybody is seated by 8:50. So here comes somebody making a history. And somebody from India coming there and barging through the door open and making this noise. And so 300 heads turned back. 600 pairs of eyes looked at me. Oh, I stood there and melted. And I became so nervous and so shy because, I represent India there because I was the only Indian in that church. Everybody else was European. So I went there. Anyway, I found a seat somewhere at the back and I sat there. And I want to say that I worked in New Zealand 16 continuous years. And I want to say that during those 16 years, many times I went back to this church, but never again I was late. Because once I was late, and I really got a message of my lifetime, and I made sure that I will not let my country go down again because of my behavior before 300 people like that. So this is what we learn from our mistake, that mistakes happen in life, but we learn. So in our job at Technopark, I got 400 customers around the world in my department, and I'm the head of that department. Most of the customers are airlines of the world, like British Airways, Qantas, Cathay Pacific, Emirates, and things like that. So sometimes we have a call to Germany to meet. And 10 o'clock is the time for the meeting. And they all will come like this 10 minutes, 9 minutes before 10 o'clock, they'll be seated. If I happen to be late, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to that meeting, I may come and say, oh, there was traffic jam. I may say that, oh, my cat went away with the neighbor's dog, and all kinds of excuses I can say. Look, I'm in the meeting to talk about a $1 million $1 million software development project to be given to India, Trivandrum, IBS from Germany. And I, as the head of that team, are arriving at that meeting 10 minutes late. Then my customer will get really doubt about if $1 million project is given to this man called ANIL, will he be able to deliver on time? Or will he also come the last minute and say, oh, my cat died and there's a traffic jam, there was a flood in my home and things like that. So they really become nervous because I am already late for 10 minutes in the meeting. And they really wonder, is this the habit of this man? So I could lose a project, no matter how much advertisement I do, no matter how much work I have done to get this project, because I'm late to a meeting, that creates a very negative image about me. So I have to be careful about that. Let me go to the next aspect of soft skill, communication. Suppose I'm a carpenter. I come to your house and your mother tells me, Mr. Daniel, I want a table. So I run to my workshop and I bring this table and give it to your mother. And your mother says, hang on, Mr. Daniel. This is not what I wanted. I wanted this. Oh, well, then I tell your mother, madam, but you didn't tell me that this is what you want. Well, she told me she wants a table. It is my responsibility to ask her questions so that she will tell me what kind of table. She meant a dining table, and I gave her a study table. She says, take this table away. I don't want this. So, do you all have a piece of paper, pen with you, a notebook with you? If you are a software developer, you are talking to somebody. So, maybe you're a carpenter. You're talking to some lady, and she said, I want a table. So, she's imagining this table on the top. But you, as a carpenter, are thinking about delivering the table below, right? So, can you write down some questions you should ask this lady? You don't have to read it out, but just write it down. Can you write down some questions you should take time to ask this lady regarding the table so that it becomes clear to you that the table that she wants is something else, not the one on the top? So, can you take half a minute to write down some questions to ask this customer? This is the lady. Please write down. I won't ask you to read it out or something, but for your own analysis, for your own, you will quickly know where you are. That's the reason why I asked you to write the question. Please write 2 or 3 relevant questions you will ask so that you will not make the mistake. Please write now. I will just watch a few more seconds. Write 2 or 3 questions related to this table that will help you to decide that it is not the top table, but it's the bottom table that this lady wants. Okay, I assume that you are written at least something. Let me give you first question. Madam, do you want a steel table or a wooden table? Madam, do you want a glass top, or would it like a wooden top or metal top? Do you like to have drawers, or do you want it without drawers? Should the drawers be double side on both sides, or there should be only on one side? Should it be right-handed or the left-handed? Because it depends upon who is going to use this table. Somebody who is right-handed or somebody who is left-handed. Accordingly, your seat will differ. The position of the drawers will differ. Do you want the drawers to be lockable? Do you want one key to lock all the 3 drawers, or do you want 3 separate ones? Would you like to have wheels so that you can push this table around in your home? These kinds of questions I must ask her. It is my duty. I'm just saying that if you are a software developer, it is your duty to communicate and ask questions so that the customer will tell you things that he or she forgot to tell you. Because 1 year later, when you finish the job and go to her and ask for money, she will say, get lost. I don't want this table. And all your 1 year of software development is gone. You develop something that the customer never wanted. So that is the art of communication. Let me continue communication. Please listen to English TV news. Speak English in the campus. I don't know what is the culture in your campus. You may be speaking your native language, maybe Hindi, maybe Telugu, or maybe Tamil or Kannada or Malayalam. That is fine in your dormitory, in your room, in the playground. But at least in the college campus, in the university campus, learn to speak, encourage each other to speak English, because English is the business language of the world. If you're poor in your English, then you'll be very poor in communication. Let me share with you my first embarrassing experience I had when, as a 25-year-old, I first went into USA, part of my first IT job. So there you don't have auto rickshaw when you go to USA, but you have these kinds of planes in the villages or in the rural areas of USA. These kinds of 5-seater planes, maybe only 4 people can sit and pilot. So after landing up in New York, from there I took one of the small planes and go to the neighboring rural village, because that is where the office I had to go to. And it's the first time I am landing up in USA. So when I got into this plane, I really desperately wanted to sit near the window, to look out through the window and find out how is America like. But I was nervous. This is the first time I'm coming to USA. I did not know how to exactly ask. So I ended up, the seat was given to me by the person there. Somebody looked like the air hostess or something. She said that, my seat was in the middle. On my right hand side was sitting a very senior elderly lady. On my left hand side was another elderly senior man. And I really wanted to ask the man, sir, can you help me? I really like to sit near the window. So would you mind sitting here? I can exchange seat with you or something like that. But being so nervous, I didn't open my mouth. I just kept quiet. And I kept on wishing, I wish my seat was near the window. But as the flight took off, after a few minutes, the man sitting on my left is an elderly man wearing a three-piece suit, golden watch, and golden pen, golden spectacles. Everything except his shoes looks like gold. So he turns to me and says, excuse me, sir. He's calling, I'm 25 years old and he's some 80 years old. He's turning around me. He's telling me, excuse me, sir. And I don't understand who he's speaking to. I thought he's speaking to the pilot or something. I tried to ignore that and he's again saying, excuse me, sir, please. I looked at his eyes and he's meaning me. He's also looking at my eyes. Then I opened my mouth and say, what? Or something like that I told, because I did not know how to politely speak good English. Then he said, do you mind helping me? The way he's asking, I can never say no. When he's asking me so politely, this 85-year-old grandfather, dressed up like a millionaire, he's asking me, sir, he's calling me, excuse me, sir, and do you mind helping me? I really wanted to. I didn't say anything, and he told me, the lady sitting next to you is my wife. So would it be too much of a trouble for you if you could shift towards the window and she could sit near me? We would be very obliged to you, sir, or something he's saying. Oh, I really wanted to say so thank you, because, I really wanted to sit near the window, and here he's so much apologizing to me and making a polite request like this. And I wanted to tell him, sir, the way you're asking me, not only I will sit near the window, I am also happy to sit outside the window for you. You know what I mean? In India, if we want somebody to move, what will we do? We will just, use our elbow like a lever or something and push that person out, and then we will move and sit there, right? That's what we learn in college campus and schools and all that. And here is the first time I hear that people can speak so politely like this, so that even if I want to say no, I will not say no. That is the art of communication. This is a place in New Zealand. Somebody parked a car in the middle of a car park, and there are only two car parks there. I want to go to that petrol station and fill and buy something from there. And how do I tell this guy to move the car? So I went and looked into the car to find out who is the driver. And here is sitting in the driving seat, a man like this. Oh, I don't know whether I can ask him to move his car. I want to be careful. He looks to be the head of some gang or something, some local, Maori Aboriginal or something, because New Zealand people there are some tribal people there too. So I don't know how I can tell him. So I have to learn the art of asking him. I cannot tell him, you made a mistake. Don't you know how to park the car? And things like that. If I tell him, he may come out of the car and just really beat me. And therefore, I have to politely request him in such a way so that he will be happy to help me. And that is the art of communication. Let me give you some examples. My department is customer support. 1,000 emails or telephone calls we handle every day from our customers. And we have to reply to them. Online updates, some of them are emails. So on the left-hand side, I've given you the wrong way, and right-hand side, the right way to reply to people. So if somebody is calling you on the phone and you want to ask somebody, who are you? Well, that is a very impolite way to ask somebody from calling you from outside India or even inside India. You could politely ask the question, may I know your name, please? Because you do really want to record it. And you could ask the question, what do you want? Instead of that, the caller, the person who responded in my department should say, sir, how can I help you? You could ask the question, don't call me now because you're busy and somebody is calling you. You can say, stop it, don't call me. That is our natural way to say. On the right-hand side, we need to say, sorry, sir, I am in the middle of another urgent work. Do you mind if I call you back in 5 minutes? I'm very sorry, something like that, So that's the way you should express. I have told you before, but you are doing the same mistake again. I cannot say like that to the customer, even if that is true. I need to say, since, sir, you may need help to do understand this. Can I take remote access to your PC? And can I show you how to do that? Sir, do you have 5 minutes? I could show you how to do it. Something like that, So there is a wrong way of conversation. There is a right way of conversation. Along with that, let me also ask you some grammar questions. Can you write down what is wrong in this question? Did you went home yesterday? Can you write down the correct answer in your notebook? Just write down. Don't tell. You don't have to speak over the audio and tell. So what is the answer? Did you went home yesterday? The right way to speak is, did you go home yesterday? My mother is sick. Remind her in your prayers. Well, what is wrong there? Write down the correct answer. My mother is sick. Remind her in your prayers. What is the answer? The answer is, my mother is sick. Remember her in your prayer. One of the boys are sick today. Again, it's wrong English. One of the boys is sick. We are speaking about one boy. There are many boys, but we are speaking about one boy. Last question. Did you enter all the data into the computer? What is wrong there? You only need to say, did you enter all the data? You don't need to say data. You don't say people, children, crowds. You don't say things like that, because that itself is a plural word. Okay, personal presentation. How is your appearance? You appear neat and tidy. Wear clean, iron dress. Washed dress. I don't mean to say costly dress. You cannot come to the IT office like this. You cannot come to the office like this either. Maybe your clothes are very fashionable, but you don't belong to the IT office like that. You cannot come dressed up like this either. In an IT office, where customers from overseas will call our conference calls and things like that, the dress code expected is this, not any other. So that is personal. If your father has got a tourist bus, and you are wanting to hire a good bus driver, would you hire the man on the left, or would your father hire the man on the right? The man on the right looks like he's responsible, he's well presented, and he will be able to take the foreign tourists who come to India from the airport and take the places. But if the driver is a man who is on the left-hand side, even if his jacket is very costly, none of the visiting tourists want to enter the bus, possibly, right? So personal presentation, you appear neat and tidy. I'm not speaking about costly clothes, but clean, good presentation. That's what I mean by IQ. IQ is intelligent quotient. And what is EQ? Emotional quotient, your emotional health. Look, a couple of boys in the college, not your college. Your college will be a good college, but some other college you see, there is a junior person who has joined the college yesterday, and a couple of seniors have come together, and somebody is pushing his head towards the wall, and somebody is copying that scene in the camera. And emotional quotient is how healthy you are emotionally. If you bully others, if you think you own the whole world and everybody else is like a slave, then your emotional health is very poor. So the EQ of the man in the middle, and all the people standing behind him and sarcastically laughing at this poor guy, their EQ is very low. It could be zero, it could be negative. If you are a person with a good EQ, you will not do this. And when we recruit people, we want to avoid these kinds of people coming into our company, because you would be such kind of people will be a problem when our customers come, even in our office. So naturally, you want to become different. See, I want to talk about diligence. Diligence means applying your mind to whatever you're doing and doing it well. See, a couple of guys, it's a welding shop, maybe somewhere in Africa or something. You can see some guys are sitting around all day. There is a lot of welding work to be done because their boss has gone to the bank or something. Until he comes back, they're all sitting simply idle. But there is a man on the right hand side. There is no boss. There is no supervisor. but he's doing his welding work diligently. That is the difference between somebody whose character is different. And a lot of us ask the question, why there's so much discipline? Don't do this, don't do this, do that, do that. Morning till evening, all the time. This is what, college rules. So let me ask the question. This is a football ground. And in the football ground, there are many markings, white lines, and the goal post area, and the penalty area. And many things are marked here. Corner kick area. There are flags put on places. Why? Why don't we just remove all these lines and just play our own game? See, the game becomes interesting when there are certain rules. And inside the rules, there are obstacles and difficulties, and you you play within the rules, overcome the difficulties, and score the goal. And that's how the game becomes interesting. But if the goalpost is also moving, and the goalie takes the goalpost and runs with it around the ground, then you don't know where to shoot it. So the game becomes totally, utterly meaningless if these kind of frameworks are put there. Similarly, the same thing is in life also. See a traffic jam here on the left-hand side. There are no traffic signals. Or cars and buses and everything coming from left and right and north and south. It would take a whole lot of time to cross that junction because nobody will give away and you have to find space and everybody's stuck there. But if you put some traffic lights, then it becomes red and green. People from one direction can go and other three directions wait. And one by one they take their turn. So such rules make life much easier. I would guarantee with traffic light, you will cross, even though you have to wait, you will be able to cross through the junction and reach your destination much faster. No traffic light means you could be stuck here all morning and not really come out of it, So that is the purpose of discipline. The man on the left-hand side, even in industry, there is a dress code. There is a uniform. This is the DGP of Andhra Pradesh, or he used to be. Why is he having all these kinds of dress, his hat and everything? If you don't do that, people don't know he's a DGP. The police will not recognize he's a senior officer. The traffic people, the criminals, the jail people will not recognize him. So you need the discipline of putting this uniform, even though it's heavy and so many things and buttons and tags and flags on your body, because that is what really makes you stand aside as a person of authority. In USA, the research has been done that doctors who don't wear a white gown, who don't wear a tie like this, or they don't put on the stethoscope on their shoulder, on their neck. They simply walk around in the hospital and prescribe medicines to you. And there is an experiment. They repeated the same experiment, making the doctors put on their white gown. And they hang the stethoscope over them and over their shoulders, and they put a white coat. And possibly they display the name tag on their white jacket. And the research says that when a man is dressed like this, when his doctor is dressed like this, the patients are more inclined to respect his instructions and take medicine seriously. But the same person coming back here without a proper dress like this, and he issues things, and they will throw away the tablet after 2 days and they don't care for him. So being dressed for your role, and there are some marks of your identity on you that really enforces who you are and it gives you authority. And that is the reason why even in industry, you need the code of conduct, the dress code. See on the right-hand side, I had to wear this always hanging on my neck. And I had to swipe this IT identity card against each door. I go to the cafeteria, I go to the meeting room, any place I go, the door is closed, I had to swipe it. And there is a sensor on the door. Only when I show this, the door will open. Sometimes, unfortunately, I land up in the office and I forgot my ID card. It is at home. What to do now? I had to drive back home and take this ID card and come back to the office. Otherwise, the door will not open. The whole day I get stuck in different places. So this is what, when we are in college, somebody asks us to wear the ID card, we ask the question, why? And we don't digest that. But when you come to industry or place of work, you need that. That's what this is about. Well, there was a Deepavali time, and one of my Indian friends took firecrackers that you can see on the right hand side. And what you see in the left hand side is the server room, on the data center server room. And his friend was working there. This fellow wanted to go and scare him. So he came and lit this firecrackers and put under his chair. And the firecrackers exploded under a chair in a server room. My Indian friend. We together went to that place of work, you know. I just want to tell you the sad news. That was the last day he worked for the company. Such a company of good reputation, such a good job, well-paying job, but he did one foolish act. He was not given a second chance to give an explanation. Putting a firecracker in a server room, you are out. You don't get a second chance. So that is the reason why we need discipline in our life. Let me ask the question. I know some of the young people, the mother has to call the fellow from Kerala, and there is a girl who is doing nursing in Bangalore, and the girl is sleeping every day. The mother has to call her up and wake her up. And then she will ask the mother, Mom, what time is it? She does not know whether it's a day or night or noon. So she will ask mother, and mother will tell, oh, Betty, it's 9 o'clock or something. It's time to go to the university. And young men, please forgive me. Let me tell a bit more difficult label there. If it is a boy, he will ask a different question. He doesn't say, Mom, what time it is. Please forgive me. I don't mean to hurt you. But this is what some boys will say. Mom, what day is it? Because he doesn't remember. Is it Sunday? Is it Monday? I hope none of you are like this. That you, if you are, you would slowly be changing. That's what I really want to say. Okay, now I'm entering the last section, and let's conclude my talk slowly here. I want to speak about you having self-motivation. Here is a man called Nick. You can search him on the internet. He is a motivational speaker. He goes to universities. He is based in Australia and travels to USA and speaks to university students. He has no hands and no legs. And he's standing on a table, and a little bit piece of a limb is there as a leg, and he's standing there. He cannot walk. He cannot run like you and me. But he's smiling, and he's telling students how to be self-motivated. Search on the internet. Here's a girl born without legs, and he's competing in gymnastics on the trampoline, jumping up and down. She has no legs. How is she doing that? She's self-motivated. K.R. Narayanan, the first Dalit president of India. He was born in Kerala. I think this is his house where he was born. It's not a big 5-story flat or something. It's not a house made of marble or ceramic tiles or anything. In a humble circumstances, but he studied so much and he became the first Dalit president of India. He was an ambassador for India in some overseas countries and later became president. Well, if he can do that, you too can also do, but you need to be motivated. So we spoke about technical skills and soft skills in the last section. Briefly only, I want to speak about good health. Please, if you are not smoking yet, don't begin to smoke. If you're not taking alcohol or drugs, very good. If you are taking, please stop it. Because once you start, it is the end of it. You cannot stop it. Especially if you're taking drugs, your life will become like a vegetable. And drinking many of these kind of things, it is harmful to you. I'm also a sportsman. I used to run when I do the college days. Now I am much older. I cannot run like that, but I'm still fit. I can still walk long distance. But the young people, you are young, please don't indulge into alcohol and drugs and smoking because it will be going against your body. Look here, a lady, what she's eating, and you can easily say, what is the impact on her health. Not only for ladies, look here, a man as well. I don't know how he can manage to sit on that poor bike. The bike's tires are about to burst, I think. You don't want to become like that. The Olympics gold medalist was asked the question, you won the gold medal for cycling. What is the secret of your gold medal? And he said 3 things. He said, good exercise, good sleep, good food. Young people, I just urge you, be motivated, to do three things that will balance your life apart from academics. Do regular exercise, at least walking daily, and good sleep at night. Don't sleep at 3 o'clock and don't begin to sleep at 2 a.m. Sleep by about 11 o'clock, 10:30 or something, and wake up early in the morning. Like today morning, I woke up at 5:30 because I had to make this preparation a bit more. So today morning, I woke up at 5:30. I also recommend you to sleep early, wake up early, if you can. But at least don't wake up through the night and sleep during the day, because that is not good for your body. So good exercise, good sleep, good food. Last topic. Since you are students, let me conclude by giving you some tips about education. Have a single focus in your life. You see a horse here. The eyes of the horse are covered. We call it blinders or blinkers. Blinders. Why do you cover the eyes of the horse like that? Because horse will look to the left and see a truck coming. He will look to the right and see a double-decker bus going. And the horse will get scared and he will start running. So the horse should always look to the front. Don't look to the side and get distracted. That's why they put like this. And during your student days, you should be like that. Your single focus. Your parents are investing money or your government is investing money and send you here because you should have a single focus to make maximum advantage of it. You can play games. You can go for walking. You can watch a movie, no harm. But when other things get out of control, then you lose the focus. Like too much computer games, romance, politics, gang fights, teaching the lecturer a lesson because she's too strict or something, so you want to teach her a lesson and you spoil your future. Preoccupation with too much sports, too much religion, and too much social service. Internet, social media, movies, music, to some extent they are all good, but when they exceed in quantity, it's bad. Some people always go for weddings and cousins parties and they are never in the classroom. Let me go here. Choose studious friends. Don't sit near some people who always talk in the class. Is your friend the man on the left or is your friend the man on the right hand side? It is your choice. Because if you choose the man on the left to be your friend, then there could be some other things from his life also will affect you. So it is your choice whom you want to become. Take notes and never miss a class. That is the secret of success. Write and study. Don't just read and study. Write. Don't sleep until you have read today's notes. Well, this is very difficult because many students will read the portions if you have an exam tomorrow. And some people search for the syllabus that night only. They don't know where the book is, where the textbook is. I hope you are not like that and you revise frequently. So be like that. If you're writing answers, when you write a formula, put a square box or something around it and highlight it. The teacher who is valuing your paper will immediately see that you written the formula. So then she will straight away give you marks without having to struggle to look through your long answers. Where is the formula? Whenever possible, try to draw a diagram like this, or parts of a machine or whatever, and label them. So instead of writing 20 sentences about the eye, it is enough that you instead of writing 2 pages about the eyes, if you draw this diagram and mark the parts, immediately you will get 9 out of 10 marks because the teacher knows you done everything correctly. So always try to draw diagrams and pictures and graphs so that the people's eyes will be caught. Okay, last 3 slides before I stop. I want to say that the statement in English called, there is no free lunch. Friends, you are having a good time in the university. You are enjoying ice cream or good food in the cafeteria. Please do. You are young and fit and energetic. You can enjoy. Like the young friends who are sitting on the right hand side on the university lawns, no problem. But always think that there is nothing like free lunch. Somebody has to pay for it. Either the government is paying some money to the university to have you, or your parents are paying. Sooner or later, this free lunch will stop. I mean, somebody paying for your lunch will stop. Sooner or later, you have to stand on your legs and you have to start earning. So be ready when the time comes. Don't be late. So here is College of Trivandrum, CET, College of Trivandrum in Kerala. the first engineering college in the state, and well, I can say it's also the best engineering college in the state, apart from NIT Calicut maybe. Among other engineering colleges, this is the number one. I studied here too. So I recently met a young boy who just did +2 and he's gone to the university, to this college. And he is quarreling at home. He's a first year student. He will go to this college only if the parents will allow him to take the parents' car and drive to the college. I don't know whether you realize for a fresher, for a first year student, first time coming after +2 to a college, to take a car and come there, in my experience, it's very dangerous because there are many seniors and some colleges, there is something called ragging and things like that. Somebody will take his car, somebody will force him to drive the car and go to Kovalam and other places. And there is a lot of things that can go wrong, isn't it? This boy is quarreling at home saying that I will go to the college only if you allow me to drive dad's car and go there. And I was, talking to this boy, and I was speaking to him. I came to him. So I was he's saying that, look, there are many people, many of my friends come in their car, Royal Enfield, Bullet motorcycle, they come. And why can't I also want to shine among my friends. So my challenge to this boy is that, well, you want to you want to shine? That's a good idea. But only thing I want to say is that if you want to shine with your hard-earned money. Work hard, study well, get grades, get good job, earn your money. Now you buy a car and shine anywhere you like, no problem. But trying to shine using the car that your father or mother has worked hard and earned, that is false manhood. If you really want to be a man, work hard and earn money, and then drive a big car and show everybody, no harm. But trying to borrow dad's car and shine in the college campus, that is really not manhood. So I used to tell him like that. So last slide. Dear young friends, there is no substitute for hard work. You are young and fit, and you've got good eyesight. Your legs are strong. You're able to breathe strongly. Your hands are powerful. But invest this time, your youthfulness, time into creative activities for your life and study and learn, so that when the time comes, you will be successful. Only you can change you. Are you willing to make those changes in your life? Thank you for patiently listening. May God bless you. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for that very insightful, very simplified explanation and giving a lot of practical tips. I'm sure it'll be very useful for our students, especially when the exams are about to start. Okay, so if students, you have any doubts, any questions, you can post in the chat box. So I'll be happy to answer the questions. We'll just wait for a minute or two. If there are any questions, it will be answered. Okay. Okay, sir. I think they are only saying thank you, sir, and good presentation and things like that. No questions. So, yeah. So I think we'll wind up the session. Now, may I request Ms. Rashika to propose the vote of thanks.
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am? Good morning, all. I'm Rashika, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Dr.M.G.R, Educational and Research Institute. Deemed it a great honor and privilege to propose the oath of thanks on this occasion. Let me start with thanking the Almighty God for making this event a resounding success. Then I thank our speaker, Professor ANIL TITUS Jacob, Head Customer Support Center, IBS Software, for the great session on Students Induction Program come Motivational Talk on Only You Can Change You. Thank you, sir, for such a knowledgeable and enlightening session, which will surely brought amazing transformation in students. It's my pleasure to thank our honorable and dynamic president, Engineer ACS Arun Kumar, who has been a great continuous support system and always encourage us to take a step forward and stay ahead. I also thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi, Registrar Dr. C.B. Palanivil, Joint Registrar Dr. V. Siluraj, Dean and ET, Dr. S. Senilvelan for their guidance and encouragement in all our efforts. My heartfelt thanks to my EDN colleagues who worked hard to ensure that this event becomes a milestone. My special thanks to our students who actively participated. Once again, thank you for all your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of the Department of IT, I thank all the students for joining in. I thank Professor Anil Titus once again. So the attendance link is posted in the chat box. Please fill in the attendance form before you leave. Once again, on behalf of the entire organizing team, I would like to thank everyone. The recording of the session will be available in the same YouTube link. Thank you once again.